by night. Keep going crazy.
Hello, 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 guys. It is Lexus Exodus, leader of the Black Woman Exodus. How are you all doing? Like always, if you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe. Please share. Also, please say what's up in the chat. Say hey in the comment section. Let me know that you're listening. Also, if you have any suggestions or any tips or any ideas for new stories, please feel free to share those with me. I love to hear from you guys. My Gmail is lexusexoduschannel@gmail.com. Additionally, if just because we know the nakers be nakering and the trolls be trolling, please, if you have a moment, take a second and follow the backup page. That's called LexX. That's LEXEX, and I will also link it in the description below. So here's another installment of my daily series called the Blackistan Zoo, where we profile the animals, characters, creatures, and dusty derelicts found in Blackistan. So let's go. So today we're going to talk about the CaveWench. And we'll go through a brief profile of the CaveWench, and then we'll examine her behavior as it is illustrated in her natural habitat and in her native space. So first off, you'll find your CaveWench dwelling in a trailer park. You'll also find them at your local Walmart, pregnant and barefoot. You'll also see them at your local health clinics. They might be there getting tested for STDs or getting an abortion. Her appearance. So your CaveWench is typically very, very basic. We talk about how the whale species and the snow roach species is very, very basic barnyard Becky. She's pie-faced, she has stringy hair, and oftentimes she's sloppy and obese. Or if she's not obese, then she's shaped like a 7-year-old boy. Your basic barnyard Becky is typically, she falls within the CaveWench category. So she's trailer trash and dejected by her own community. So what tends to happen is she'll meet and have romantic relationships with dejected Tyrones who will accept them. And they feel esteemed and boosted and have their confidence increased by these Tyrones because they worship their whiteness. But then what happens is they'll get this harsh reality check upon realizing that they'll be the recipient of the same types of behavior and the same types of toxic treatments that apes give with everyone else. So they're oftentimes cheated on. You'll see them get pumped and dumped. You'll see them get abandoned with babies, turned into single mothers. A lot of times they might have good credit, so apes will use them for their money, use them to co-sign on cars, things like that. They'll be homosexuals with them. They'll also get beaten and abused and discarded by these men while in these relationships. So let's look at your CaveWench in her innate natural habitat. The first instance I want to show before we actually examine real-time examples is a white woman detailing and I'm really outlining this toxic, problematic pathology of your CaveWench. So she calls these CaveWenches out on their BS and really just tells the truth about their problematic mentalities. So let's watch this.
You know what, Becky? I'm done with you, so I'm going to read you like a deck of tarot cards and call it a day. Because you are the quintessential stereotype of white women that end up with black men by default. You never left your small town. Your brother, your uncle, your cousin, your dad, somebody fucked around with you, so now you got no self-worth. You become that quintessential white woman that is a doormat for any fucking man that comes along. No black woman in your fucking town wanted that man, and you fucking know it. He came to you out of default, bitch. You were a fucking last resort. But you don't want to deal with that. You don't want to talk about the fact that you pay all his bills. He beats your ass and cheats on you. You just want to come up here and parade him around like he's a Louis Vuitton bag that you bought on sale somewhere. Now, bitch, we all fucking see through all your bullshit. You're just a Becky wannabe black girl with a black man that no black woman wants. You know what, Becky? I'm done with you, so I'm going to read you like a deck of
Okay, so I want y'all to listen to my snow roach or my white whale video previously that I recorded in another one of these installments and tell me I haven't been saying this same shit the whole entire time. These are all the talking points that I've been saying for quite some time, and it's just because it's true. And even she's calling it out as being a white woman. She's calling it out and she recognizes the bullshit. So she talks about how the CaveWench will pay his bills. He'll beat her ass. He'll cheat on her. She'll be a doormat. And in all actuality, she's just a wannabe black girl with the black men that black women have dejected. So it's also true. Really, these cave witches are the discarded, overweight, obese, unwanted women in their communities. And when we think about it, it makes sense that the Tyroch is her natural counterpart because they are the broke, busted, and disgusted men that are discarded and unwanted in the Black community. So they're a perfect match. They live happily ever after, miserably, and go off into the sunset in their dustiness. So let's look at the cave wench and examine her toxic interaction between her Tyrone, and then we will talk through what's happening here.
You okay?
Mate, I love you. You fucking don't love me. I fucking love you. I just love you. Mate, I love you. Maya, I love you.
Are you okay?
Mate, I love you.
Okay. So we see this basic barnyard Becky, and she's a real weirdo. She's having a Karen moment, and she talk about emasculation, and it's so funny because these men will talk about how we're loud and ghetto. I don't know about y'all, but Karen is the most aggressive woman on earth. When she's upset, she gets just like this and gets very, very aggressive and very, very masculine. But yeah, you see this fool. He's so damn pussy. He talking about he's scared of the girl. But this is your typical dynamics of your cave wench and her ape counterpart. So one thing that I often talk about is Tyrone's lacking resources and how sometimes they'll seek Becky and cave wenches due to being broke, busted, and disgusted. So let's actually look at this illustrated in real time, and then we'll chat. Okay, so here we see your cave wench throwing money at these Tyroches. They throwing it back, busting it wide open like women. And these are the groups of men that get triggered and come to my channel trolling, saying they're high value men. These are the same men who only make $40,000 on average, who are conquered, who have no resources, who have nothing to offer. So what tends to happen is they'll seek cave wenches to leech off of. This just really illustrates, and I say this over and over and over again. The reality is the reason why these men will call you gold diggers and will say that you need, will try to diminish your accomplishments and will say you're average at best, even if you are an accomplished, successful Black woman, is because they get frustrated and get really envious because they can't utilize their femininity. They can't utilize their sexuality to get resources. They want to be able to bust it open for Brad like these apes are doing, and then get money and then, get financially taken care of like you're able to do. This is why a lot of times you'll hear them say, yeah, if I was a girl, the first thing I do is, I find some trick to spend money on me. I'll find somebody to pay my rent because they want to have the capability to do that. And they get really frustrated and flustered when they can't. Okay, well, speaking of that, let's look at another very disturbing instance of another cave wench, crackhead cougar, with a younger Tyroch, who the Tyroch is obviously only interested in her because of her money and her resources. This one is very disturbing, but I thought this really illustrated what we're talking about here on the profile of your cave wench. So let's watch this and then we will chat.
Say that rubber, fuck that hoe. Meat to meat. Meat to meat.
This is your man.
Yeah.
Look at the screen.
That's mine.
And that's what you're going to settle for.
I'm going to stick beside him. Waiting patience for me, darling.
Some people tell me that I need help. Some people can fuck off and go to hell.
Shoot your guns in the air. 3 times in the air. Shoot your guns in the air. Machine gun.
And hold your hair aggressively.
Ew. This is embarrassing, y'all. What the F? And I say this is embarrassing because although I am not Black male identified, we do know that other groups of people automatically correlate Black women with these men, with these Tyrones. So this is embarrassing. This mess is very disturbing, and this is very silly. This is humiliating. I'm getting secondhand embarrassment. So this young nigger is dating this emaciated, ugly old crackhead CaveWench looking chick. She runs the gamut of all the struggles. She's wrinkly, she's shriveled up, she has a sunken in jaws like a meth head. She's shaped like a 7-year-old boy, like I said they tend to be. She looks disgusting and hideous, and he's ready to sniff her dirty draws. He's just happy. He's on the moon. And this really is the epitome of their preference. Because like I said, it doesn't matter if they're 600 pounds or if they're shaped like a 7-year-old boy. As long as they are white, they will hop, jump, and skip to have the opportunity to be in a relationship with them. Even if she's a meth head, even if she's crippled, even if she's on my 600-pound life, this is what they like. So speaking of my 600-pound life, let's look at this other instance of this woman who apparently was a star on my 600-pound life, and she has had her pick of the litter when it comes to Tyrones who are just so eager and waiting in line to date her. So here she is. Here's her man. Here she is with her breathing tube. She doesn't even have a jawline or a neck. Here. Okay. And the caption says, let's go back and read the caption. It says, when a nigga need a place to stay, he'll do just about anything I see. And that's true. And like I said, apparently this beluga whale goes from Tyrone to Tyrone. And apparently this is not her first male. This is not her first black male that she's dated. She has a line of chubby chase and Tyrones who are eagerly waiting to become one of her suitors. And she looks like she smells. She does. And I know that weight has nothing to do with hygiene, but do we really believe someone that's that big, who has a tube connected to them just to breathe, who is probably immobile, who probably can't move around easily, isn't very agile, is thoroughly washing and cleaning and scrubbing those folds and crevices daily? Of course not. Of course not. Let's look at this next instance of your CaveWench. I'm way too zoomed in. Let's see if we can zoom out, because I want y'all to see this mess and see what truly the epitome of what the type of woman they choose when they talk about their preferences. So let's look at this instance of another CaveWench and her Tyrone, and then we will chat about this one. So I got it unmuted. Let's see.
It's on, no bitch I have. I just want a chance, hopefully I make you glad. I know you right now, so I've been holding on my tune. I don't want my ex on, no bitch I have. I just want a chance, hopefully I make you glad.
So this one, she looks like she has herpes. She looks like she has mono. He's sitting there laying cheek to cheek with her. He'll probably wake up the next morning with his lips burning and itching because that's an infection. There's something going on there. But he's happy. He's on cloud 9. Because just like I said, as long as it comes in a non-black package, then they get ecstatic about it. They pedestalize these women, and they're the best thing since sliced bread. Okay, so let's look at this last instance of your CaveWench and her interactions with her Tyrone. This really illustrates the toxicity and the problematic nature of these relationships. So let's see, where do we want to start? This is part 2. We need to start at part 1. I'm going to make this larger. Here we go.
That dude that was out there. No, your ass going to jail. That dude, that's what you got their hair for.
Whoa. You're going to jail.
That's all right. I got the money to get out. I'm going to tell you what happened this morning, okay? He wasn't home to go to work. I was like, okay, I need my truck. I come over here, I ride up some J-Lo bitch with in the back of my truck, butt naked. I pull up on the side of my truck. Okay, what I did not expect to see. Him and some girl butt naked in the back of my truck. Okay. I didn't even, you guys didn't call. I didn't lose my composure. I was like, you know what, just get out of my truck now, please. They're both saying that you're a witness.
I've been a witness.
Okay, the witness, her getting...
Okay, let's watch part 2 because it gets better.
I've been a witness.
Okay, the witness, her
You trying to run him over with that damn car. You see the skid marks right there.
So he was on the driver's side actually trying to get into the Tahoe.
Right.
And she backed up trying to hit him.
Hell yeah. Okay. 2 times. Not once, twice.
So she both times
backed up and came back at
twice. Okay.
But I did not try to run you over. They're gonna keep me.
I already know.
Well, then tell him the truth because these people are telling him. We're taking her to jail for the aggravated assault.
Oh, boy. Y'all. So we see this one here getting cheated on and mistreated by her ape. She says that he didn't go to work that day, but he took her car to go F some J-Lo looking bit, like she said. And she finds the other girl naked in the backseat of her car, and she loses her temper. And she tries to hit the man with her car. And you see here, these niggers were so quick to throw her under the bus. They're not caping for her. And not to justify this mess, but I think that we can all understand in the heat of the moment, if you're with somebody who's not even working, like she said he isn't, and he took her car, not to go to work, not to, cultivate some more resources so you can be able to buy your own car to work. You take my car to go mess with somebody else in the backseat of my car. I understand why she was upset. That doesn't mean that it's okay, but I understand. And he throws her under the bus because he don't give a fuck. And this reminds me of Meg the Stallion. She talked about previously about how she was dating a guy long ago before she got famous and how they got into it and got into a physical altercation. And she's notorious for being a ride or die. She got shot. It's still covered for the nigger. But yeah, so she was being quiet. She didn't want to snitch on her boyfriend after he assaulted her. But the nigger threw her under the bus in true fashion, told the police that she physically assaulted him. And so she gets her ass arrested. And that just goes to show you, this is your typical dynamics when you're with a Tyrone. It doesn't change if you're a CaveWench. And here's the thing, too. I think what tends to happen here with these niggers is they find any white woman to lay up with just because they're self-hating and they fetishize these women. And because it's not based on any depth or any substance there, they cheat. So they cheat shortly after, then shit like this happens. And I've said this before. One of my followers said recently, cheating is a given with niggers. Cheating and STDs, if you're dealing with an ape, you should just expect that. That way you're not surprised. So what you need to go into, if you're not divesting, what you need to go into these relationships is just assume that he's cheating and it's happening and get used to it. It's the other offenses that you got to really watch out for, like being broke and busted and disgusted. We know that on average they're uneducated and unemployed. They have no resources. We also know that 40% of them have been convicted of a felony previously. Then on top of that, oftentimes there's more serious offenses that they're guilty of, like they're probably physically or sexually abusive. They might be pedos. These are the other attributes that oftentimes comes with these men that you have to look out for. So anyway, in any event, I get lots of detractors who troll my page, a lot of niggers, a lot of apes who troll my page and say, well, why do you care so much? Why are you devoting so much time to these men's preferences if you don't care? And it's very simple, Tyrone. You broke, dusty ass, motherfucking, lame ass, broke, busted, and disgusted motherfuckers. You bullet bags. You weak, worthless men have somehow, despite your number of shortcomings that are well documented, you have somehow gotten to a lot of black women, and they believe your shenanigans. So your critiques about them being loud, ghetto, unattractive, you telling them, claiming that they're unwanted, I don't give a fuck how strong, confident, and settled these women are in their self, because I've been there, and I'm very, very self-assured. But studies show if you hear the same thing over and over again, it starts to chip away at you, and you start to believe it, even if it isn't true. So you better bet I'm going to clap back, and I'm going to counter these arguments. Because you're not about to sit here and be vocal and trash and, be roasting all these women when you sit here making $40,000 a year on average, and 40% of you have felony convictions. You make up the bulk of the homeless population. You have nothing. You have nothing to show for yourself. So you don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. Then got your nerve to criticize my aunts, my mothers, my cousins, and my sisters. You are not about to expect for me to be quiet while you're a conquered and defeated and effeminate and emasculated group of men. Then turn around and criticize us, calling us masculine because we have to fill in the gaps for your failures. No, you don't get to be a deadbeat. You don't get to abandon the children that you created just to turn around and make fun of these women for being single mothers. You don't get to fix your mouth to disrespect the same women who gave birth to you, who gave life to you. Then, fast forward decades later, risking their lives to save your pitiful self over and over again, fighting on the front lines because you're too cowardly to do so. You don't get to disrespect them. You don't. So fuck y'all. Yeah, I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to keep countering those lame, baseless arguments that y'all keep throwing out there, criticizing women when you don't have shit to show for yourself. So I'm going to keep my foot on y'all's neck, and I'm going to keep clapping back every damn day. All right. That's all I got. Until next time, see you guys. Bye.
If y'all come across a red iPhone, can you please bring it to the sound stage? Red iPhone, appreciate it.